Good afternoon. Just a couple things to start here. We'll start our 21-day window with linebacker Matt Adams today. Pringle also is still in the 21-day window for practice. He'll be out there today as well. Injury report will be sent out after practice, of course. And then Kari Blasingame will be our honorary captain for this week. So we're excited about that. He's been a great teammate. He's done a lot of sacrifice, in his position, obviously leading the way for a lot of things in the running game. So excited about him. Obviously good to see Justin Fields recognized today as the NFC Player of the Week. Really a credit goes to the coaches and the players, all 11, as we say, certainly for that, him being recognized for that. Today is Salute to Service. For this game is Salute to Service, and, personally want to thank the military. Today we had about 30 Vietnam veterans for breakfast down there in the PNC this morning. Got a chance to visit with those folks this morning, so just want to say, thank you for their service and sacrifice for our country. And, the way those guys, men and women, the servicemen and women love the United States of America, and that's pretty cool to see. Got a chance to talk about some of my family members that were in the military, so it's pretty cool to be down there with those guys. But other than that, we started off a good week. Today we had a nice walkthrough this morning. Again, we're first and second down today, adjusting our schedule back a little bit to go to pads today. So we'll put pads on today for that, and we'll finish it with a little walkthrough at the end. We get about 20 to 25 plays for walkthrough, so we'll do about 3 or 4 team periods. Get a special teams period in there. We got our pads on, and then we'll finish it off with a walkthrough, and then tomorrow will be normal shells, and then Friday will be normal Fast Friday. So that's just really changing that, adjusting that from the feedback from the players. Talking to the players last week about how it went, what they think about it, and the majority said they like pads on today, so we end up switching it back because of that reason. With that, I'll open up to questions.
Can you talk a little bit about just last game when you spoke to the running game and how there's not many teams that use fullback anymore, so just why it's so important to you guys?
Yeah, it's an important piece for us. I think I talked about it maybe in training camp about how important to have a fullback is, because it changes. It changes you as a defensive, team or coach. It changes you because it creates another gap. And the ability to have those guys in there, most teams play base defense to that. Most teams like to be a nickel because that's what they practice most of the time. So it's an unpracticed group that you use for defensive players, so defensive coaches. But, he's done great in terms of his lead blocking, his physicality. He's exactly what we stand for here at Chicago.
What's impressed you most about how Luke Getsy has kind of tailored the offense and the game plan and the play calling to what Justin does best?
Yeah, that, like we said about 3 weeks ago, we started to really, look at ourselves and do a good job of self-scouting during that mini bye, and the coaches looked and see maximizing skill sets of our players, not only Justin's but other skill sets that we have, and minimizing what we need to minimize. And every group in the NFL has to do that. So I thought we did a really good job of that study, and then working into that, really implement it into the games, and looking at some different things that people are doing around the league with quarterbacks that can run the ball. And our guys certainly, obviously very, talented and is able to do a lot of those things, and he's doing it in a smart way. So that's the other thing that the coaches have done a nice job with. Let's do this in a smart way, so he can get out of bounds, slide down, and do things, and also be creative too.
Some of the Dolphins players were talking about that speed. How much, obviously, you want speed no matter what, but how much does that help as a quarterback when he's running, like you said, to be able to get out of bounds, maybe a tick faster?
Yeah, it does help. He can run himself out of a lot of spots, where some people might be, get turned back inside. He's able to capture that edge and be able to work to the boundary.
Besides execution, what is the biggest issue with your third down defense?
Yeah, I would just say, it is execution, so I would say that. But we just got to do a good job of have creative ways to create pressure. I think, winning on third down a lot of times is creating pressure on third down to get the quarterback uncomfortable. Ideally, you'd like to do that with your front four, but sometimes, you have to mix it up, and you got to be able to change things where you send 5, 6 and different things and create different looks for the quarterback. So we just got to do a better job being creative that way, and we're looking to do that this week.
We asked you about Davis Jones earlier. You said the decision made on special.
Yeah.
What does he need to do offensively to be valuable enough to be up on Sunday?
Yeah, I would really say to all the receivers, just compete. You know, obviously the room's a little bit fuller now because we got guys back and we got, you know, with additions of certain players, you know, just in there competing. So it starts with alignment, assignment, key, and technique. You know, do you know your job? Do you know your motions? Do you know how to block the point? You know, we're running the ball in the perimeter and hustling on the backside, but then it comes down to, you know, being a playmaker. You know, that position to me is a game changer, playmaking position. And there's a lot of competition in there right now, which is good for us.
When you sit down to try to figure out who's on your game day roster, do you need to have a balance between, okay, this guy's a third-round pick, this guy's young, this guy, we need to find out what we have in him? What's the best roster?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're doing really what's best for us. You know, certainly we look at that and we understand that, but we do that more in practice. But for the game, we're going to put the best guys up for the game to win that game.
There's a lot of reaction in Indy on Monday with
Yeah.
the coaching change there. What do you think it's good for football that somebody who's not in coaching in college or the NFL to be placed into one of these roles?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think I want to answer it, but I will say that you know, I was, you know, a little bit taken back by what happened there because obviously Frank's a very good friend of mine. I really enjoyed my time with him. He certainly helped me professionally. You know, as a man, as a coach, and I can't say enough good things about Frank Reich. I love him to death. He's a great, dear friend of mine. So, and I have a lot of other guys in the building that is in that situation. You know, that's I was in that situation a little bit when I was back in Cleveland before I got hired with the Cowboys. So I know that feeling, you know, with the families. So I know it's hard, and my heart goes out to those guys, and just hopefully they will have some wisdom and stay strong.
Coverage this season, and like the last 3 weeks, his numbers have improved considerably against those looks. What do you think is the biggest contributing factor to that?
For the man coverage?
For him getting, his numbers improved.
Yeah, I think that's just the ability to really just, you know, have a man on each guy, but also have a man on him. You know, so I think that's probably the biggest thing that we'll see going forward. But you know, we'll see how it goes.
Is it something too, as far as him reading defenses better? Does that play into it?
Yeah, I think it's all encompassing. I think a lot of teams will do that because they want to stop the run, number one, our run game. But he's done a really good job of taking care of that.
Pass rushers, are those spots kind of up for grabs as far as who's getting opportunities to pass rush? Are you evaluating that week to week?
Give me your first part of your question.
Pass rushers.
Okay.
And the pass rush opportunities specifically when there's obvious passing downs for the opponent.
Yeah.
Do you view it as kind of a hierarchy, a depth chart, or are you going week to week to see who impresses you or who during a game might get more?
Yeah, I would say we have, you know, on the roster we have the 8 guys that are up. You know, so those guys are doing a good job with that, and we certainly would mix and match. We put some defensive ends in there. Sometimes we have 3 ends. Sometimes we have, you know, just 2. But we're trying to find the best combination for that. But that's always a competition during the course of the week.
So back to the defense, for instance, on Sunday, like, there was a hesitancy to blitz, it seemed like. And that's why we announced that we didn't want you to sit back there and pat the football and et cetera, et cetera. That's what happened. There was no pressure. So why was there such a hesitancy?
Yeah, I would just say that, you know, obviously the 2 receivers, you know, when you pressure, when you have 2 really elite receivers like that, I think there is a vulnerability a little bit to it, you know, because you open up windows. When you play shell and you play more, you can get some, you know, more guys on them, you know, in terms of jamming them and staying up underneath them. But we certainly got to do a better job than what we did last Sunday for sure.
And the whole evaluation process of Justin Fields from the beginning of the year to now, has he done anything that has surprised you or really opened your eyes in terms of maybe you didn't think he had that in him?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things. You know, you see some of those plays, you know, from field level and watch what he does to pull away from people. I think that's pretty special. You know, he's certainly a lot faster when you see it in person than I thought, for sure. And he's strong. That's what I didn't know. I didn't know how strong he was, you know, in terms of hanging in the pocket and being able to move guys off of him and be able to stay alive. So those are really the 2 things. But I've said everything else we know about the guy. You know, so he's uber smart and you know, he's running the offense well, and he's getting more comfortable. You know, so that's what we're most excited about.
What has impressed you about his decision-making as far as when to run versus to stay in the pocket? Because I think that was kind of an area he struggled last year as a rookie.
Yeah, like I said, it's just pocket presence. You know, him knowing the reads, him going through his reads, him delivering the ball, him feeling comfortable to be able to understand that, hey, he'll be able to ride the pocket, step up and deliver it. And again, that's a learned skill. He's got to be able to go through that process of that. And he's had some times where guys were running off the corner, and you know he's been able to evade that too. You know, so he's pretty special that way.
How much of an issue has it been? Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Go ahead, Deanna.
Okay. Do you think that the improvement has been because the game plan is more catered to what he's doing well, or because he has taken this next step in his development?
In experience too. You know, the experience is really lend him to take the next step. But also, I think as we're learning him, and he's learning the offense, it's kind of both. You know, so we're tailoring it to him more, but he's also learning the scheme at the same time, if that makes sense. So you can just feel him getting more and more comfortable with it.
How much of an issue has it been with the pass rush that when you guys do get to third down, there's a little bit of unpredictability because a lot of times it's third and short. It's something where you don't know necessarily whether it's not an obvious passing situation.
No, that's right. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to do a better job on first down, second down, right? Get them in the situations you like. You know, we got to create those situations this Sunday. You know, so we got to do a better job.
Claypool said on Sunday that he was really looking forward to getting that first game behind him so he could kind of settle down. One, what did you learn about him in the first 7 days you had him? And two, have you noticed that maybe this week's a little bit calmer for him?
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, shoot, you come right off the right from Pittsburgh, and we throw you in there, and he's into the first day, and it's amazing. He ran a bunch of plays the first day, and then the second day ran more, and studied his tail off until Sunday, and got in there and executed well. He had 2 receptions, and so we expect more and more out of him, and he's doing a great job right now. And this is a little bit easier for him this week, obviously, with more time on task. Guys are helping him. The coaches have been helping him, and he's going to get more comfortable. So, yeah.